Welcome everybody. I am the Cenobite storyteller slasher Poe. Once again, I would like to thank you all for joining us this evening. Please press the share button in the name of Halloween. Once again, thank you for tuning in, all of my Creepypasta followers as well as my horror fans. We have a couple of Cenobite stories for you tonight. The first is called No Place Like Home. This first Cenobite story is entitled No Place Like Home. Shadows shifting back and forth with the sounds of heavy breathing. The cries can be heard, muffled under the duct tape. 3 victims suspended upside down, patiently waiting for their fate. The door creaks open. The sounds of footsteps get louder as the butcherman enters the room. The faint sound of screaming are heard, causing the grin to widen on the face of the butcherman. Slicing with the sharp blade faster than a blink of an eye, cutting the duct tape from the victim's mouth, releasing the blood-curdling scream of pain and agony. The blade begins to talk to him, guiding his every motion with precision, slicing both ears from the head and removing the nose in one quick movement. Suspended upside down from the ceiling, the victim begins to thrash and scream, blood-curdling cries of mercy. The victim cries and tries to negotiate his release by offering large amounts of money. The butcherman knows what evil this man holds in his heart, and quickly declines the offer with a fast decapitation with his blade, the blood curdling down and spewing from the jugular. The agnostic breathing takes hold and the man dies. Placing this first severed head into the pot of boiling water, the butcherman looks at the other 2 suspended victims and say, "There's no place like home. Are you ready to go now?" And with that, he presses the record on the video camera and starts the chainsaw. Once again, thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe to our Backwoods Butcher Chop Block TV YouTube channel, as well as subscribe to Hellraising Horror on Facebook. Once again, everybody, I am the Cenobite storyteller slasher Poe. I would like to thank all of my Creepypasta fans as well as my horror community supporters. This next short story is entitled Gallow Walkers. From the beginning of time, there has been vigilante justice. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Outlaws in the Old West were known to be quite fearless and ruthless on the plains. The Bellow Gang were notorious for hanging and violently torturing innocent people. Jack Bellow was the mastermind of their outfit and barked orders like a rabid wolf to execute and entertain his morbid fantasies. He became known as Maniac Jack Bellow in the Wild West, spreading fear from coast to coast. He has turned populated cities into ghost towns overnight, leaving hundreds of corpses hanging from trees, buildings, as wherever the eye can see. Early one morning, waking, the Bellow Gang was discussing their next town to exterminate, when the sounds of gunfire erupted all around them, and shouting from the hills echoed through the mountainside. "They're over here! I see them!" In a hail of bullets and commotion, the Bellows were surrounded before they had a chance to pull their own pistols. "We got the drop on them," one of them said on horseback. A cold shiver went down the back of Maniac Jack. He knew at that moment the jig is up, and that he will have his date with the gallows himself. They rounded up Jack as well as 7 of his 10 men that were still alive after the gunfire. Handcuffed and dragged for 10 miles back to West Junction Jail. All of the men were corralled into a cell like cattle. They were given a brown water jug with moldy bread to eat for the night. In the morning, they were to be tried and hung. Everybody in the West knows of Maniac Jack and the Bellow Gang. There was no shortage of townspeople when the hearing was held. The gavel fell as the judge, in a furious rage, handed out their death sentence. "You are all to be hanged now," the judge shouted. The blindfolds were placed over their heads, and they were marched directly up to the gallows. 8 nooses were set around the necks of the Bellow Gang, the executioner pulling tightly on Jack's noose. He says, "Are you ready, Gallow Walker, to walk in eternity?" Before Jack could respond, he pulled the lever, snapping the necks of all 8 members. People say Jack was the devil in the flesh, and with a body count of 1,385 victims, I will have to say they are right. Once again, thank you for joining me. Please subscribe to our Backwoods Butcher Chop Block TV YouTube channel. Once again, I am the Cenobite Storyteller Slasher Poe. This next Cenobite story is entitled, "The Power of Christ Compels You." He began sawing through the top of the woman's collarbone with a rusty saw blade. The helpless victim began crying and thrashing, barely able to breathe due to the plastic bag tightly sealed over her head. A sparkle began to shine in his eye. Once again, he was a free man. The jury should have sent him to the express route to the electric chair for what he has done. But a loophole in the system allowed him to be a free man. He now remains covered in blood daily. The screams of his victims can be heard only by the isolated walls of his torture shack. Grinning from ear to ear with the severed limbs of his victims surrounding his feet. His heavy breathing entails the satisfaction he now feels once again. Cleaning the blood off of his face, he then goes into his room. Putting on his robe and collar, he began to recite his prayer. The power of Christ compels you. Picks up his Bible and heads to the sermon. Once again, I am the Cenobite Storyteller Slasher Poe. I hope you have a wonderful Halloween season. Make sure to follow me on YouTube here at Backwoods Butcher Chop Block TV, right here on YouTube, as well as on Hellraising Horror's Facebook page. As well as you can follow me on Amino's Creepypasta at Slasher Poe. Once again, I hope you have enjoyed our little Cenobite storytelling session. For all of my Creepypasta fans, as well as my horror community supporters, I would like to say thank you. Once again, I am the one and only Cenobite Storyteller Slasher Poe. Follow me on Instagram as well under Butcher Media. Once again, it is that time to close the curtain on our Cenobite storytelling session. Once again, I am forever your Creepypasta host, Slasher Poe. Until next time, farewell, and into the flames we go.